Hello, friends. Welcome to Four Friends in a Book, where we gather around each week and talk about the books that we've read and how they've potentially changed our views on the genres, the characters, and the stories that we've been reading.
Hello.
Hi there.
Hi.
David, say hello.
I said hi. I didn't know what was going on. I didn't hear a countdown, didn't hear the finger, nothing.
I did.
You had a
I did. I
countdown
saw
of-
all the
Well, people
things.
couldn't see you, Joe.
Now I can see Joe. I couldn't see you
Oh,
before.
okay.
Hey, you know what? Welcome, Four Friends in a Book. It's so good to see everybody and hear your voices and be what's up. It is the day before early voting started in Texas for the primary season. I'm super excited about all of that. And this week we've got an amazing set of topics, and I'm going to lead it off, handing off to my friend Raymond Shaw up in the top left-hand corner there.
Absolutely. I am wearing my It Is History Month shirt.
Awesome.
Very nice.
You have to get the references. But yes, I am the aforementioned traveling incognito under the pseudonym Raymond Shaw. Look it up. David's going to, are you going to play the cup up, cup down? Yeah.
I'm not going to play that game. I'm going to have a delightful peach bubble water.
Hell yeah. And Her Royal Highness, the esteemed Dr. Teresa. How are you, friend?
I'm doing well. I'm in awe of you guys working so hard yesterday to meet new people in your constituency. So, yay team.
It
Yeah.
was lovely. We actually, had a big event, about 75 people, and then went to a smaller social event, met some folks, had much more one-on-one conversations, so that was
That's
swell.
good. Good.
Yeah.
And well, I'm gonna hand it to my dear friend Diane.
Hello. Yeah, we've been campaigning out there.
Can y'all hear
Campaigning.
that?
Can hear you.
Good.
Okay. I am not hearing her on the speaker, but I am hearing you. Go ahead, talk, Dan.
Hello, hello.
Yeah, you're good. Okay.
Yeah. So between the store and the campaigning, we are getting tired.
I'm sure. Yeah.
Need a
Yeah.
break.
But it's good. It's we're alive.
Yeah.
And we are meeting neat people, so that's pretty cool.
That's awesome.
There will come a time when we are unable to keep up a crazy pace. So while we can, we might as well.
Yeah.
Right. For
Oh,
sure.
By the way, I didn't know we were wearing our resistance shirts because I would have worn mine that I was gifted for Valentine's Day by my amazing wife. It's a Hive Bakery shirt, and I see Diane's got one on as well. But mine is much more simplistic, and I apologize. There's going to be a rating label on this. Mine just says "fuck you."
Yeah,
Oh,
to the
there you
point.
go. Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
thanks to my
Didn't
lovely
even-
bride.
I'd
And
forgotten I had this
Yeah.
shirt
Happy
on.
Valentine's Day, dear.
And a shout out to Haley at Hive Bakery. Haley and the crew down there. They're
Yeah.
heck yeah. And while
Right.
you're there, Hive Bakery and Haley, because I'm going to come get some goods tomorrow. If you want to throw a little sponsorship action our way, we'd love that support.
Yeah.
Either way, we're just going to keep
Brief-
talking about Hive.
Right?
Mhm.
Pop in and say, hey. Don't even have to sponsor anything.
Heck no, I'm going to go get my stuff.
Yeah.
My stuff.
Well, they had some Dubai chocolate strawberry things for Valentine's Day. I didn't talk to you about it because I was afraid I couldn't get down there, and we didn't because we had a lot of stuff going on. So
It's okay.
Yeah, there's everything down there that I've ever tried has been lovely, but there's one thing in particular that I would sell a kidney for, and that is the brown sugar cinnamon Pop-Tarts. So I don't want to know when they are on the menu, when they've got them in the case, when they've made those Pop-Tarts, because they're so good. I would make a special trip for those.
Well, that's good to know. David's looking it up.
Yeah, they're savage. And
I'm glad we don't live closer
Oh yeah.
or work right by it, because I would be in
Right.
there every day getting something.
Yeah,
yeah, it's ridiculous.
Josh lives like 2 blocks from it.
Yeah.
I work down the breezeway from them. And I'm always fighting not to go in there because it's like, oh my gosh, what do I bring home? A few cookies and some brownies and blah blah blah.
Oh, that's
Like,
right. You're in that same, like, shopping center, aren't you?
yeah, it's ridiculous. They had
Oh.
a mega Valentine's Day box with, like, red velvet whoopie pies. Oh my gosh, and then all the cookies, M&Ms.
Ugh,
No.
Yeah, I
making me
can't do
wanna
that.
go.
Right? Right
I think
now.
I
Yeah.
think
Oh,
I think I got about 4 diabetes just listening to that description.
yeah, I
Or
don't know if you guys can
diabetes.
see this. This was
No,
the
you're all fuzzy.
hold on. I try to be discreet in my
Try to be yeah, I people with their fancy fuzzy backgrounds that
Right?
really
well, you know how it is.
fuzz out their faces. What are you hiding from, David? What are you
Everything.
mad
I'm hiding from everything.
Let's
Mm.
process this. Are you
Um,
back? Nope.
no, I'm here. I'm here. I'm gone. I'm here.
It's
It's
fine.
fine. I can't get it to it
It's
won't let me
okay.
do the adjustments. So, suffice to say, it had shaved pistachio and
Ooh.
Dubai chocolate.
Hmm.
Mm.
In
Yeah.
cups, like a cup?
Yeah, it's like a parfait with, like, a
Yeah.
fudge chocolate cake at the bottom, a layer of strawberries, 2 layers of Dubai chocolate, and then a layer of shaved pistachios on
Oh
top. Yeah,
gosh.
it's ridiculous.
Sounds really good, actually.
Yes,
Yeah,
it
The
does.
crunchy with the creamy.
yeah.
Oh,
Love it.
Imagine baklava with Dubai chocolate and fresh strawberries in there.
Here you go,
Hmm.
friend. I got you, David. I got your back, my friend. Yeah, yeah, stop. All right, it's not gonna let me do it, maybe.
That's
Uh,
fine.
yeah, but I did find the item. Now I just need to get it to show up. So yeah.
Yep,
Um,
absurd.
Absurd. So, do we want to jump in?
well, I think we need to address one of the topics we were discussing before we went on air is the fact that we probably need, because there is another lovely podcast that is also entitled Four Friends in a Book. We don't want to be copycatters, dirty waters, can't say it back. Um, so we probably should, here we go. Here is the strawberry Dubai chocolate cup, chocolate cake cup.
oh my gosh.
That
Ouch.
looks even better than described.
Yeah, look at those chunks of fresh strawberry and oh,
Oh my gosh. Yum.
same. And we'll see if they I always have to check and see if they have the yeah, the death by chocolate cheesecake looks lovely. They do not have the
That red velvet Oreo roll was actually, vegan, 100% vegan. Right there.
this one. Lovely.
Reese's cheesecake. Did you see that? Ugh.
It's
Yeah.
I
really
know.
pretty, too.
The Reese's cheesecake, death by chocolate cheesecake. I definitely caught a diabetes right there. All
So,
right, well, there you go. We're gonna stop the sharing and
yeah.
get back to the podcasting. We talked about needing to revise our podcast name because some other lovely friends who like books have that also use the name Four Friends in a Book. Teresa, you had some lovely creative ideas, and I think we should share them with our 6 audience members.
There we go. Well, I can only actually remember one of them. I'll remember during the week and I'll just keep a list. Now, since our logo that you created, Joe, is adorable and it has chickens, and we have chickens in our little chicken coop in our backyard, what about read the Cluckin' book?
An allusion to profanity without actually being profane.
Absolutely.
And I apologize. I've got to step away. I think there's somebody at my door.
Is it a chicken?
No, no, thankfully not. Um, although this tends to be the chicken med bay. I believe it is
Hmm.
my sweet, sweet puppy bear. So I'll be right back.
No,
Fair enough.
she's here.
Oh, okay. I guess I just hear the tinkling of the tags. So
It could be a raccoon.
Oh, could
I
be.
hope not.
Probably. It's probably a
Yeah.
raccoon.
So, okay,
Um,
read the Cluckin' book.
Yes.
Let freedom read. It's
Well,
a
that's
little
cute.
sounds a little political,
It
Yeah.
does. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Um,
Okay.
oh,
We need to
read
workshop this?
reading with the homies.
I
don't know
I
about
don't
that.
mind that.
We're kind of spitballing here. Come on, there are no bad
I like
ideas
that.
except for the ones that
Yeah.
we.
How about reading is effing sexy?
What?
Can we spell
Reading
it?
is effing sexy.
Can we spell it out, but with an asterisk?
Mm.
Reading,
That's been done.
Readin apostrophe
A lot of
effing sexy.
books have done the effing with the asterisk.
Mm.
It's yeah.
Based on my wife's reaction, I'm going to say no.
That one was we're pinning them all,
I'm cogitating
and
on
we'll
it.
revisit these, but we're just
Yes.
now we're letting the creative juices flow. Come
Right.
What was your
on,
first one, Teresa? What was your cluck one?
Read the Cluckin' book.
That one's growing on me.
As chickens are wont to do.
I also thought of one, and I can't remember. I'll have to write it down. But it was something about how the book is better than the movie, and it had the chickens incorporated in it as well. But I can't remember what it
Fried's
was.
better than baked.
No.
Okay, yeah, maybe we need to come with lists.
Yeah.
Yes.
Maybe we can make that for next week.
Yeah.
Party
works.
fouls.
Yes.
Okay.
We can deep dive on that.
We ready to segue into topic of the day?
This week
Heck,
it is
yeah.
the week. You got it, Boglin.
Topic of the week.
Well,
is,
hold on. Whose topic is it?
It's Diane's.
Boglin.
I thought it
Mine.
was Joe's topic. I'm so
No,
sorry.
it's mine.
So am I up next
You would
week?
have thought it was Joe's topic.
You are up next week, David.
Yeah.
Damn it.
You thought
All
it
right.
was. So you read the wrong book?
No. I'm
Oh.
actually on point today.
Oh, okay. Awesome. I'm interested to hear. So in honor of Black History Month, we are reading or talking about books we have read that we enjoyed by Black authors. And so the author that I choose to talk about today is James McBride. And he wrote, he's written several books. I have read 2 of his books. The last one that I read was Heaven and Earth Grocery Store, which I enjoyed tremendously, but it wasn't my favorite of the 2. But Heaven and Earth Grocery Store is about a Black community and a Jewish community in sharing the area that they lived in. The one thing James McBride is excellent at doing is building characters. You really know these people by the end of the book. He introduces you to a lot of characters, though, so sometimes you kind of have to make a list, but he's very good at coming back around and retelling you about the characters. But sometimes there's a lot of them to keep up with. But the other book is called Deacon King Kong, and it is a story about a project in Brooklyn, New York in 1969. And the name of the project is called The Cause, or its nickname was called The Cause. And a true area that people lived back in, I don't know if it's still an operating housing project or not. But apparently James McBride actually lived there part of his childhood. But the book is not about his life. It's about, it's a fiction book and about a retired deacon who lives in this project and all of the different characters that live there. And it is laugh out loud funny. And yet a story that's moving along and things you're trying to figure out as it goes along. And the main character's name is Sport Coat. So he's a deacon, but they call him Sport Coat is his name. And it's just such an enjoyable book, but still gives you the glimpse of what a hard time it was to live that way back in 1969. and his cast of characters are, very diverse. There's, people from I know, like, the Dominican, and there's an Italian mobster who's in it. He doesn't live at the project, but he's a main character in the story that's involved with it, and it's just pure humor, and I highly, highly recommend if anybody gets a chance to read James McBride to
Now, I have picked that book up, and it was one of those that it wasn't for me right at that very second, but your little commercial for that has convinced me because I I got the sense that it was not done with humor. I thought it was gonna be a lot more heavy-handed, so that sounds like the perfect book to read
No, it's yeah.
right now.
It is so good as Diane's describing it. I'm just giggling on the inside because it was so
Ugh,
fun. I don't know if have you either of you read Bonfire of the Vanities by Tom Wolfe?
I do not think so. If I did, it would have been years ago.
That
Same. I think we may have read it in high school, but it's been like, did I really read it or did I just
Yeah.
kinda skim through it?
Yeah.
it reminded me a little bit of that in that they were dealing the storyline was dealing with it was a serious real thing, not like real heavy,
Mhm.
but it was presented in an almost an offhanded way. It reminded me of Thomas Wolfe in Bonfire, um, the way that the story was told, and he did it in, Heaven and Earth Grocery Store as well,
Mhm.
and can I blurb what I really, really loved about both of those books and his perspective?
Please.
Yeah.
Well, it's Diane's books, I don't wanna steal her topic. But in both of those 2 books, he started off writing he not only writes people well, but he writes culture and community really
Mm.
well. And in both of those books, like in Deacon King Kong, there was the African American community, the Italian community, the Irish community with stereotypical roles, the deacon at the church, the Italian mobster, the Irish cop. There were
Yeah.
Dominican, people in the Dominican, baseball players from the Dominican in there. Um, and he starts the story off, and these cultures and these communities are very stereotypical, sort of cartoonish, caricatures of these, communities. As the story goes on, very subtly in the background, these caricatures come into a literal focus, and there's much more blurring of the lines between them until the blurring just becomes an integration of all of these cultures and communities. They're all fully integrated. They're not separate at all, even though that's how they start at the beginning.
And they're not
Mhm.
caricatures at the end.
Yeah.
At the beginning, you're like, "Oh, that's very generalization of that." But I
Mhm.
think that's his point is, you're
Mm.
richer than what your stereotype is. It's so
They make
yeah,
assumptions based on physical
Yeah.
presentation, but the reality is far more
yeah,
nuanced than that. And in Heaven and Earth Grocery Store, it was the African American community and the Jewish community in Eastern Pennsylvania, just outside of Philadelphia. And again, very stereotypical caricatures of these communities. But as the story progressed, and this isn't the story, this is just kind of the setting, the community, the lines blur, the commonalities begin to emerge.
Mhm.
There's that physical crossing over of the communities, but it was really cool. And again, this is a perspective I can never see, and that's what I value so much in good books, is he presented the African American community in Eastern Pennsylvania not as a homogeneous, monolithic group, but rather within that community, you had those people who were born and raised in Eastern Pennsylvania. You had those people that were born and raised in New York or Massachusetts who came down to Philly. You had those African American members of the community that came up from the South. They were viewed very, very differently. The ones who came from New Orleans were different than the ones that came from South Carolina. and the ones who came from South Carolina were considered kind of the gurus and the wisdom, but it was, again, started off very broad brush, very stereotypical, based purely on outside appearance, but as the story moved forward, those worlds came together, and it was just I absolutely adore his writing.
Yeah, and the thing about the characters that he does introduce so many characters, and you think, "Oh," I mean, I'm one of those people who I want to understand the book from the beginning. I want
Mhm.
to remember who these
Mm,
people are and what's going on, and I couldn't, but it didn't
yeah.
matter because they came back around, and they came back around, and they got richer and deeper when he would reintroduce the character, and you'd learn more about that person. So, if you're lost at the beginning, don't worry
Mhm.
about it. That you're gonna figure it out. You're gonna
Yeah.
know who these people are.
I admire that kind of writing,
Mhm.
you know, because to trust yourself enough as an author to know that there's gonna be confusion at the beginning and just layer it on, like a really good sandwich. Layer that on and just make it richer and better. I have 2 questions about this. Um, the first question is this one of those books, like, at the end, you miss the characters?
You miss them?
Yeah, like, you feel a hole
Yes.
where
Me.
they were.
Yes.
Okay.
There's one character at the end of Deacon King Kong that I still think about, probably not as frequently as Demon
Mhm,
Copperhead, but I still think about the decision that they made and the action that they took,
mhm. Okay,
and, so yeah, and that was 3 years ago I read it.
okay.
Yeah,
Once again, sold on both of them. Now, and my
yeah.
other question is, why is Heaven and Earth Grocery Store called Heaven and Earth like, why the title?
There is a
There was
reason.
a Jewish-owned
Thank you, Diane.
there was a Jewish-owned grocery store, and I can't remember what the heaven and earth reference
I
was,
think
but
that's
it was specifically referring to this Jewish-owned
Mm,
grocery.
yeah.
And
okay.
a little side note about the grocery store and the lead Jewish protagonist, the woman who ran the grocery store. It was patterned loosely after his grandmother,
Mm,
and James, McBride's grandmother had a really unhappy, loveless marriage, just really didn't have a great marriage.
mm, mm,
But the story in this book is this little Jewish mother, Jewish older Jewish woman who is just adored by her husband. She's venerated in the
mm,
community,
mhm.
just everybody just adores her. Venerated, is that right? Yeah. She just
So he rewrote her history.
he did. He
Yes.
said, "I always wished she'd had a happy life, so I wrote her one."
So the name of the grocery store is Heaven and Earth.
Yep.
Heaven and Earth Grocery Store. And that's the central, uh,
Hub.
character. I mean,
Oh, okay.
it's
It
not
is a
doesn't
character.
have voice, but it's a lot goes is happening with that grocery store.
Yeah.
So,
Very cool. Thank you. I'm sold on that. Both of them.
yeah, great author.
Yeah.
Totally enjoyed him.
James McBride is such a distinctive voice.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, so Teresa said that David really was enjoying his book. What book was it? I've been curious to know.
So I'm so glad you asked. Thank you. I read James by
Hey!
Percival Everett. Um, and I've got to tell you, so I love the classic. I mean, to much the dismay of Teresa, I love the classic of um, Huckleberry Finn,
Uh-huh.
Tom Sawyer. I'm a Mark Twain fan from the word jump. Um,
Was that a reference to the frog jumping?
no, 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 no.
No,
Although
from
fun.
Mark.
So I when Teresa first gave me this book, I was like, okay, first of all, this is not a cover that would just enrapture me. And as we all know, Teresa loves a pretty cover,
Mhm. But
but
you don't care about covers that much.
I don't.
Until you look closely. Hold that up to the camera. if you can get it up.
This
Yeah.
little figure right here?
Yep.
Yep. So what's interesting about this is it's not until the end that you see the title of the book come into play. Because and I don't wanna be the spoiler,
Please don't.
but okay,
But
then I'll
but
just
tell about the book because you enjoyed this so much once again. It's yet another little commercial for me to go ahead and bump this one up because I've picked it up, I put it down.
well, and so I picked when did you give it to me? Thursday or Friday?
I don't know.
I can't remember which day, but I didn't actually pick it up until Saturday afternoon, about 10 no, that's not right. Saturday morning, I picked it up when I got home from a co-op, sat down with Teresa, we had breakfast about 11, and I started reading it and laying in bed with her, and I finished it this morning at 3:30. I powered through all 320 pages of it
Wow.
because it was that good.
Yeah.
Now, I wanna say, there's a couple of caveats to this. Number 1, there are some language and historical slurs towards persons of color, African American Black people,
Right.
uh, the N word, which just flies all over me. And even though Percival Everett is an amazing author, he's African American, Black, it just like stabbed me in my heart. And that word is just an abomination to me. And so to see it in print in 2025, 2026 is just like gross. But I get contextually why he did it. This is the retelling of Huckleberry Finn from the standpoint of Jim the slave, um, who is a mainstay character in the Huckleberry Finn book, but becomes the lead role and uh, protagonist antagonist in this capacity, and is the retelling of his story from and Percival Everett's words. Now, I will say I didn't realize this till we're sitting here talking. So I looked it up because I wanted to have a little more backstory because I was really, really excited about this book, which for me to not read a cozy mystery right now is kind of a big deal. So I was like, okay. But
Yeah.
this book received um, number one, the Pulitzer Prize
Mhm.
in 2025. It also received, oh my gosh, I had it pulled up, my computer went to sleep. It received the Kierkegaard Award. Make
Kirkus.
sure I'm saying that right. The Kierkegaard Prize
Yep.
in 2025, the National Book Award for Fiction, and one other award, Pulitzer Prize, the Audie Award for Literary Fiction or Classics. Um, it was a finalist for the Booker Prize, the Foyle's Book of the Year, Orwell Prize, Aspen Words Literary Prize, Audie Award for Fiction Narrator, and Penn Faulkner Award for Fiction. It was a finalist in all those categories, were shortlisted. An absolute if if people don't read this book, I'm actually sad for their souls. Um,
Mm.
and it has also been picked up. The rights have been bought to make it into a major motion picture, which I'm super stoked about. And to cut I'm never going to say this right. Watiti is going to be the one that's going to produce it and direct it, if I'm not mistaken. Steven Spielberg is going to be the producer, and Watiti is going to be the director. Um, so super stoked about that. But it's the entire story of Huckleberry Finn, retold from Jim's perspective, um, including some additional stuff. But just an absolute gem and an amazing story. So I can't recommend it strongly enough. So
Do you think that you have to have read Huckleberry Finn to enjoy this book?
no, and I think if you haven't read Huckleberry Finn, it's a new introduction to the
Mhm,
story and the like that world.
mhm,
Um, but as I was reading it, I can hear Mark Twain because I have read the Huckleberry
mhm.
Finn, the Tom Sawyer stories. I will say, not to not to jump the shark, so to speak, there is something about how Percival Everett has told the story that you're like, again, Joe, sorry for the disclaimer you're gonna have to add. Oh, holy shit. Like, we've always had this perception, having read the Huckleberry
Mm.
Finn, the Tom Sawyer, but then you read it from this perspective and you're like, "It's all just a shell game."
Dude,
Like,
Yeah,
completely different.
the end of chapter 2 exploded my brain. Now this is 2 chapters in, we're not spoiling anything. It
Mm.
broke my brain. I read it and went,
yeah,
I almost never do that in a book, but it hit me so hard. It was like, "Holy shit." I just
and I
completely
Mm.
flipped anything I thought I knew about the story of Huckleberry Finn, and by the way, that word that you mentioned, David, that's why the Adventures of Huckleberry Finn has been removed from books from libraries and schools because of that word. So it's ironic, and I think probably intentional. I don't want to attribute motivation to Percival Everett, but it's probably very intentional that he used that word. That word was used by Mark Twain when he wrote Huckleberry Finn in the reclamation of this story, the story of Jim the slave, and reclaiming it and telling it from that perspective. I don't think it was an accident that he used that word. But anyway, it was just magnificent. And that part of I would, as much as I would love to say what happens at the end of chapter 2, I don't want to ruin it, Teresa, because it's that good.
Thank
and
you. I
And
appreciate that. Yeah.
I do
I've
wanna add 2
read
more
Huckleberry
things.
Finn. Well,
No, go ahead, go ahead.
I was gonna say, I made the point and read Huckleberry Finn before I read James,
Mhm.
and I don't think it's necessary. And in fact, the N word bothered me a whole lot more in Huckleberry Finn than it did being written by Percival Everett, you
Mhm.
know? So, but
And keep
again, sign of the times, Mark Twain was not I mean, he was a pretty good guy, I think.
yeah,
He was an abolitionist, or he believed strongly that slaves should not be in exist like, they should not be held in captivity or slavery.
and keep in mind,
So,
Huckleberry Finn was published in 1884 in the UK, and then in the US, 1885. So that's 140 years ago.
Yeah.
Mm.
so to go take it a little bit further, there's as you're reading the story, because there's multiple I wanna call they're like it's almost like epochs. There's chapters within, like, modules almost within the book itself, and I'm trying to think how to describe it. Uh, but there's a couple spots in there. One of the characters in there is a true historical figure, and I don't wanna give it away because it's a powerful, turning point that gives realization to the empowerment and the taking of authority, um, by Jim. And so
Mm.
I wanna put that, and I keep calling him Jim because if I wanna tell why the title is the title, and if I do that, I'll be in so much trouble. And then the other aspect of it is, as I'm reading it, um, you can see where, if you've read Huckleberry Finn and you know the story of Jim from that perspective, and to see it in this perspective, you can see where he no longer there's a spot in the book where he goes from being, um, Jim to being James. And it's not just one specific point, in terms of, it's not the very end. There's a spot where he claims self-actualization and identity, and it's so powerful.
He
And it
claims
is
his
like,
agency for his own, and
yeah,
Mm.
absolutely.
magnificent.
And what really kills me is there's some other references in there, and at the very end, it kind of, as I'm reading it at 2:45 this morning, and I was trying to be so quiet because the puppy is sleeping, Teresa is sleeping, but I was like, "Oh, holy shit, this is Nat Turner's Rebellion all over again." And I was like, "Yes!" And I've always, like, when I was talking to my students today, because I was teaching civil rights, I talked about Nat Turner, and what they did to Nat Turner and his fellow uprisers, and I was like, and I just finished a book that I think you all should read. And they're like, rolling their eyes at me, but that's fine. Um, but just seeing the difference and the tone that Percival Everett put down in this book was amazing. And so it makes me sad that things like this are not found in libraries because of the words, even though I despise it, um, but also because of what students are missing out on. And
Yes.
that is, as Joe pointed out, the agency that Everett used to take back the power and the authority of Jem, now James, by telling the story and from his perspective, as opposed to, the 12-year-old white boy, who was the lead character in Mark Twain's story.
And
So
again, not to spoil it, but it's not only I'll just leave it at this, it's not only told by James or told from James' perspective. I'll just leave that little teaser there.
yeah. So I'm not saying you should read the book, but I bet my favorite local bookstore, particularly Joe's, the home of Indulge Your Mind. I
Expand
expand your mind, indulge your, terrible dyslexia.
senses.
Census.
Yeah. So I bet they have a copy, or if they don't, they can order you a dozen to share with friends and family at Christmas time.
We can definitely get one.
It is a home run. One of my yeah, definitely jumped into my top 10 immediately of all time.
Mm. Okay. Wow, we're 3 for 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Now
then there's Joe.
I wanna take a little side trip into another book, by Percival Everett that I have not read. It's called
Mm.
Erasure. However, there was a movie based on the book called American Fiction, starring Jeffrey Wright, and it is the story of this, English professor, African American professor, the movie, again, I haven't read the book, but again, it's telling of a story from a perspective that I can never see. You've got this esteemed professor, his PhD at UCLA, USC, somewhere in Southern California, writes this novel. It's literary fiction. It's, by all accounts, reviewed brilliantly, and he goes to his local bookstore to see it. He likes to go in and sign copies, and it's stuck in African American studies. And so
Mm.
he goes and finds the people at the bookstore. He's like, "This isn't African American studies. This is fiction. Oh, but it's by a black author." And the um, uh, person at the bookstore getting is explaining to this African American author of this book all about the African American diaspora and the culture and why the book has to be here. It's magnificent. So Jeffrey Wright's losing his shit, needless to say. Um, and he comes across this woman who writes this book that's written in very street language, very hip hop, and it's just flying off the shelves. It's a huge bestseller. So he gets pissed off and creates this whole alternate identity and writes a book like that of his own that then becomes a huge bestseller. And it's really a take on white readers of black authors
Mm.
and what they think is the reality of the Black experience in literature,
Huh.
and it was really a ouch kinda moment, as a white reader of Black literature. It was like, "Ooh, ouch, that stings a little bit,"
Yeah.
but that's what made it so great, and that's again, it was written with a little bit of a tongue in cheek, little bit of humor, there's some family dynamics going on that are just could have been in any movie, any story ever,
Mm.
but the the lightheartedness, I guess, or the humor with which he tells the story of this really frustrated, author who's a brilliant writer, but who's being marginalized because of the fact that he's black. So anyway, another tremendous story by Percival Everett.
Well, Teresa, what did you read?
I have a barking dog, so we may bring it over to Joe, and then I'll come back to me, if
Okay.
that's okay.
That
I'm gonna mute myself for a hot second.
Yes. So, Joe, who do you want to talk about? You
I
were going to talk about Percival Everett, weren't you?
No,
Or some-
well, actually, I had several of them queued up. You've hit 2 of my favorite authors, you 2. But a new favorite author of It was Octavia E. Butler. We read Parable of the Sower on our way back, and again, not to, don't wanna spoil anything for Teresa, and we've talked about that a little bit. As I was thinking about that book and thinking about it from the perspective of, "Oh, yeah, this was written by a Black author," and which is true, but it wasn't just like with Erasure/American Fiction or even James, where, yes, it was written from the perspective of a character who just happened to be Black, it didn't read as a stereotypical Black story. It was a
Mhm.
human story, and it was well into the story before I recognized that the main character, Lauren, which also landed, was actually Black. It was in there, it was in the story, and there were some things that they had done as the things that they were describing, the behaviors that had to be adopted by this family were the things that I've seen written about several times that are adopted sort of in a lot of Black communities and Black, families. But really, it wasn't those weren't adopted those behaviors weren't adopted because they were Black. Rather, it was because of the circumstances they found themselves in that just happened to reflect lower socioeconomic areas in today's environment. Um, anyway, so it didn't read like that sort of stereotypical, okay, you're taking a Black History or Black History Month or
Mhm.
African American Studies, so read this book. It was just an incredible book written in 1993, published in 1993, set in 2025 through 2027, so it's set in our modern day. Octavia Butler is I love what she said. I gotta read this. This is a thing I found about her. Who am I? I am a 47-year-old writer who can remember being a 10-year-old writer and who expects someday to be an 80-year-old writer. I am also comfortably asocial, a hermit, a pessimist if I'm not careful, a feminist, a Black, a former Baptist, an oil and water combination of ambition, laziness, insecurity, certainty, and drive. And that was how Octavia Butler described herself um, in 1994 after the release of Parable.
What an amazing description of
Right.
herself. I mean,
And it's so human. So much of that is
yeah.
Yeah.
so anyway, that's the book that and without spoiling too much, it's just a
Yeah.
magnificent telling this of the story of this young girl who's facing this really challenging world and then how she navigates it and what she does. Diane, am I missing anything huge out of the parable?
No, I mean, I think it's just so well written, um, and makes you feel the stress that this girl is going through,
Mhm.
um,
And
as
some of it
she
feels just like the normal coming of age stress.
Yeah,
Some of
yeah,
it's the fact that she's Black. Some of it's the fact they live in this dystopian world. So
yeah. Yeah,
Hmm.
I was like you though, that the dystopian world definitely overtook anything that had to do about race. It was more about economics and
yeah,
yeah,
and politics. Yeah.
politics. Yeah.
Yeah. She's so
Parable of the
talented,
Sower.
though.
I don't know if we ever said the title of the book, but
Yes, Parable of the Sower.
yeah.
Parable of the Talents is the other one that I had hoped to read between last week and this, but just
Yeah.
had too much stuff going on, didn't get a chance to read it. So
Mhm.
Yeah. All
You
right.
can talk about it next time.
yeah. How about you? What'd you read?
I read and this is a book I picked up when, my friend and I meet in Waco, um, once or twice a year, and we always shop at, Fabled there. And, but we go just for a reading weekend because I like to read.
Well, that's
And I do it.
I said, "That's nice."
I love it. Yeah, it's fun. But I picked this book up, The Other Wes Moore.
Hmm.
Um, and the the line underneath the title says "One Name, Two Fates," and it's nonfiction about two men who grew up in the same area with the same name, and they both have Westmore as their name, and just about how their paths end up being so different from each other, even though they could be very much the same. And one Westmore, let me make sure that I'm not, well, the back has like five lines. One Westmore ends up being very, very successful, while the other Westmore makes some really bad decisions and ends up in prison. And a lot of this is written kind of like, at what point do the decisions that we make um, impact us so fully, and a lot of why, you know? And this book was just, it was incredible because he, Westmore, was so heartfelt in his examination of his life and the other Westmore's life, and the circumstances that they grew up in were very challenging, both of them. And it it made me remember when I went through this program in Denton called Leadership Denton. And one of the things that we did is we visited the jail here in town. And this has been almost, gosh, 20 plus years. And I thought it was going to be just, so interesting to go because I had never been to a jail. And really what happened was I came away with just this depth of sadness because I've been I was raised by parents who really, education was first, and they they sacrificed a lot to make sure that we had a lot of opportunities. And I think so many parents have that same feeling and that same desire for their children to have opportunities, and sometimes they're just inaccessible, and that bothers me so much because
Yeah.
as a former principal, I believe every parent really wants their child to be successful. And how can we support parents in supporting their children? So this book was really good. It was not a lighthearted read.
Doesn't sound
But
like it. Yeah.
no, but I think it was one that I really needed to read. It was good. Oh gosh. Um, New York was one of the settings. Bronx was one of the settings. Um, it that is not the only setting. There were multiple places in which one of the Westmores lived, and um, just I don't know. It was good. And there's a
It
whole
gives me
section at the end about resources. I'm sorry, David.
I was gonna say, I apologize. It gives me sliding doors vibes,
Mm,
where, like, just one small change in whatever you do, and your whole world can change.
yeah.
Um, and not that I'm trying to compare a nonfiction work
Hmm.
with a movie that's fictional, but just that idea, right? I mean, and I think, not to make it about us, but I also think about how different we would be, like the four of us, if we hadn't met, or if we hadn't,
Yeah.
taken that chance to reconnect Joe with Diane, and
Yeah.
Hmm.
if I hadn't reached out looking for help from Teresa when I first met her, or stuck it through when she said I have enough friends. So true story, true story. But I
A
mean,
lot going on.
oh, Didn't say you didn't, but I'm just saying, like, how different would we be, and where would we be if we hadn't taken those opportunities or taken those chances, right?
100%.
So, and I feel I hurt in my heart, much like you said when you took that tour of the jail, for the Westmore who
Mhm.
didn't have those opportunities or didn't take those chances.
And
So
just split-second decisions. How many I mean, I would be lying if I didn't say that I've made I mean, like, especially when I was younger, some less than stellar decisions. And and I mean, my goodness, I would wager that everyone has done something really stupid in their lives.
Yeah.
no, I don't want to say stupid that they have regrets, even though we
No, I
shouldn't wear
made
those
some
Yeah.
regrets.
stupid ones. Oh, no. Stupid. They're
Mine was
they're
Well,
stupid.
I'm not saying that I haven't made stupid
categorically,
decisions, but I don't want to speak for
objectively
everyone.
stupid. Yeah, they were absolutely objectively stupid.
What is it in
Yeah.
there saying the youth is wasted on the young?
Yeah.
Oh my
Yes, hell
gosh.
yes.
Yeah.
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 A little bit of wisdom would have helped me way back
Oh, sure
when.
would have.
Oof.
Yeah.
Or it would have made me just absolutely lethal. I mean, I could have,
Gone either way.
yeah, 100%.
Well, and looking at this story and from what you've said, Teresa, what I'm getting and sort of my first where it's landing with me is while this was written by an African American author from his experience and
Mhm.
perspective, the theme of how, the one minor adjustment in the at the point of origin just changes the destination dramatically. That is a common human thing
Mhm.
that now the margin for error, frankly, for us or for me, I'll speak for me, is probably significantly broader than it might be for the Westmores
Yeah.
that were in this book, but underneath it, underlying it all is the same thing. Like you said, we parents want a good life for their children. We're all capable of making decisions that can have traumatic or even tragic
Mhm.
outcomes. To me, it just reminds me of the common shared humanity rather than the distinctions that divide cultures and race and class and so on.
Absolutely. And I mean, the parents in this book, they wanted so badly for their children to be successful. And I don't know, I think it's a book that's important to read. I really do because um I mean, you guys all know me well. I I think that there are things that we can do to support everybody. We all need a little bit of help sometime.
You know, it's interesting because
No, better probably to close both. Sorry, we're having light issues here. Better to close that one. The sun is like,
Teresa's arguing, making the point that everyone needs a little bit of help now and then. But I
Mhm.
think it's also it's inherent or it's important that we be willing to accept that help
Yeah.
because Teresa and I we like to help each other. We are helpers, but oftentimes when either one of us is frustrated or fussy, we don't choose to accept that help and we just take it upon ourselves to do whatever we can to solve the problem without like I'll just do it myself kind of thing. And so I don't want to speak for everyone, but I know that's how I behave.
I don't know what you're talking about.
So it's not just recognizing that you need help, but it's also recognizing that how to ask for help. So, or accept it. So,
Do you know what this means in ASL, American Sign Language?
Mm-mm.
So when David
Oh,
was saying sometimes she's not.
I'm gonna remember that.
Yeah,
oh, she's going to thank you, Joe, for teaching her because now she'll be like,
that's what I was hoping. That was one of those little gifts that I'll plant now, and
Thank
it'll just
you. Thank you so
keep giving
much.
and giving and giving. David will be cussing me at 2 o'clock in the morning. You son of a so and
I said we need helpers, Joe, not pot stirrers.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
You know, um, thinking of helpers makes me think of Mr. Rogers. That is that man. Talk about look for the helpers. And we need to all be looking for the helpers, and we need to be the helpers.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. There was a poem that they read on the radio after 9/11, and it was about, um, how everybody was looking out the windows and had never noticed the working people before, like,
Mm,
down there in the big buildings, and now those the working people were the ones helping after 9/11, the electricians, the construction workers, the helpers coming. I don't know, that made me think of that. Just
hmm
that the importance of looking at who everybody is and who the helpers are, and sometimes they go unnoticed of because they're,
Absolutely.
um,
Yeah.
random.
Yeah.
Well, no, but you're right. I mean, how often do you walk down the street and make eye contact with people? Just talk about just noticing everybody.
Yeah.
Well, I will say this, I do it a lot, and that's not bragging on, that's just saying I just do. Um, a lot of people get uncomfortable with it. I make eye
Well, you
contact.
can't go like this, Joe.
No, I don't do that, Teresa. But I'll just, "Hey, how are you?" Look at it, and people are just they're somewhat taken aback. They're like, "Oh, this stranger on the street just basically looked me in the eye and asked me how I was doing. I'm not sure I'm ready for that level of intimacy with this stranger." You know what
Pretty
book
social.
really you know what book really hurt my heart?
What?
And I wanted to this is a book I wanted to talk about because it was a book that was just it was a book and a movie. I read the book in that order when I was a kid. Um, about that was just really shaped me, and that's the book Sounder. I love that book. I fell in love with Cicely Tyson. I hated Paul Warfield because he was married to Cicely Tyson in the book. I mean, in the movie. Um, but I fell in love with Cicely Tyson at that point. Um, but it was such a powerful book about this black family, and it was like, "That's the one." That shaped me, and I
Mm.
went looked it up. It was written by an old white guy, won the Newbery Prize. I was like, "Man, that pisses me off." I was
Huh.
really legitimately sad that that wasn't written by a black.
Yeah, he looked it up for this
Yeah, I was
this
gonna go back
podcast.
and pull that up. As because I remember that when I was a kid reading that and seeing that
Me
movie in
too.
school. We actually watched it, I think. But it was just so powerful, um, in kind of shaping my perspective on the world.
Mhm.
Yeah, it was a old white guy that did it.
At
I don't
least
think I've read it.
and not to take it away. Well, I mean, I don't want to give anything extra to white people. As we sit here and talk about this, right? Uh, Teresa, you've mentioned it, and I mean, the books we read were powerful, but the idea that Mister Rogers and the impact that he had in terms of the world, and so it made me remember Officer Clemens. Do you guys remember that episode?
Yes, yes,
Oh, with the
where he put his
pool?
feet in the same pool.
Yes,
Yeah.
and so in 1969, Mister Rogers and Officer Clemens put their feet into a kiddie pool and splashed around on a hot day. And the significance of it is it's 1969, right? So this is after the Civil Rights Act of 1965. You're like, oh my gosh. But the reality is swimming pools are still segregated.
Mm.
And so here is this unassuming man who, you know, just embodies that which is the pure goodness of children. And he's like, let's just kick our feet in some water. And it's not just the imagery of him in a pool. The bigger message is after when Officer Clemens says, well, I've got to get back to work. And so he gets out and he dries his feet off with Mr. Rogers' towel. And then as Mr. Rogers is walking to the door, he also dries his feet with the exact same towel because it's not going to rub off.
Right.
And it's not just the message of it doesn't matter what color you are or what religion you are. It doesn't matter what your orientation is, right? All it is we need to do better about recognizing, accepting, loving, and befriending the people. And I think the books that we read and the stories that we're trying to tell today, and that's what should be the big takeaway from all of it, right?
Yeah.
Take those chances, offer those opportunities, extend your hand, open up your kiddie pool, and share your towel.
Yeah.
And I'm sad that in this world today, in 2026, sometimes that's not the case.
Yeah.
And
And
so,
you know what that story reminded me of, particularly the part with the towel when they're getting ready to leave, is the biblical story of the washing
Mhm.
of the feet and those that's what that reminds me of, which
Yep.
isn't a surprise given that Fred Rogers was a Presbyterian minister.
Right.
So,
Yep.
but yeah, that it goes kind of those underlying teachings of love
Yeah.
is the answer. It doesn't really matter what the question is.
Yeah.
And another thing about these books is both the books that I talked about taught me something. James did also,
Mhm.
like, taught me things I didn't know about different cultures, about, you know, there's something about a pencil in James, and I can't remember exactly what the pencil
you can't give up the story about the pencil because then we'll all be in trouble and I'll have to hear.
Diane talked about the pencil.
Like, that's
That's
all
it.
I'm gonna say about it. That's it. But I'm just saying, you learn so much just by reading a fiction book.
If you're not
Mhm.
And
hooked
that's the whole thing is like, there's so many things I wanted to talk about from the book and I couldn't talk about it because
Yeah.
if
what
Yeah.
you're not hooked at the end of chapter 2, you're unhookable.
Yeah. Yeah.
Unhookable. That's
well,
our new
no,
podcast.
That's a new podcast
Unhookable.
name,
I
unhookable.
was gonna say if you're not hooked at the end of chapter 2, then you need to unfriend me. I mean, there it is.
You need to what?
Unclick.
Unfriend me.
Oh,
Yeah.
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 Well,
But yeah, that's a good the point of that the commonality that I heard in all these stories was the underlying humanity and again, being able to see the
Yeah.
perspective that I can never have. But underlying it all, we have such common human experiences, both as parents and children and members of society.
Yeah.
And one historic classic story still has a perspective for every one of the major characters in that story. I can
Mhm.
think, James.
Yeah.
all right. Well,
It's
that's look
beautiful.
at that.
Good cast.
Yeah.
Great choice,
Great
Bowman.
books.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Excellent. Excellent choice. What are we doing next week?
David.
I don't know why you're like I feel attacked right now. I'm just gonna say I feel attacked.
I asked a question, dear.
I know you did. I know you did. Actually, I've been sitting here
Teresa.
focusing and
Hey, excuse me, Teresa, I think maybe David's a little
I think, yes. That's the name of the
Sorry,
podcast. Grumpy Cat.
Your podcast is hand motion to your face.
okay, sorry.
mm,
Go ahead. You were being attacked, and I attacked you
Do
I
you,
because
was being attacked.
you
That's
piled on.
do you want me to
fine.
look at our list?
Yes, I don't think I
Teresa's
actually gave a topic.
I know, I never Teresa's the keeper of the list.
I know, right?
Diane,
I
David has a
Yep.
blank.
It says blank.
David has a
Teresa's next
blank?
is
yeah.
mystical realism,
Mhm.
but yeah, David, this
How
one's
do you
on you.
live with him,
We
Teresa?
went in
I
our
don't
order,
know.
I honestly, like I don't know. Because one of the things I wanna do is I wanna read a historical fiction because I love historical fiction.
Okay, done.
Done.
Oh,
Historical
wow,
fiction.
okay, hold on.
Okay,
We
hold
It's a
on.
voted.
lot, it's a lot. Um,
I could come back to Briar Club, see?
I was actually thinking you talked about the grocery store being a character, and I thought of Briar House.
I know. That's why I was like, it doesn't talk though.
Oh my
Um,
goodness.
so the one so when I was traveling, when I was in graduate school, there was a genre of books that I found that was absolutely just amazing. And it's a parody, like it's so like Pride, Prejudice, and Zombies, Henry VIII, the Wolfman. And I want to say it's historical fiction, but it's not right. And when I always look it up, it's like under parody fiction. And
Mm.
so, as
So
the
it's gotta have
experts,
parrots in it? It's gotta have parrots?
this is going. Um, but what is that genre of book?
It's a
And a
made up
parody
genre.
fiction sounds good, but I haven't yeah, I would have
So, like when I looked
It
up
sounds
Pride, Prejudice.
painful to me.
Okay, you know what? Wow, I read your Olympic book. Thank you, thank you.
Did you
So
really read it? You didn't read one.
I really I start. You know what? I can't even with you. Um, anyway, so when I looked up Pride, Prejudice, and Zombies, just so I'd have a point of reference, it says comic novel, historical fiction, horror, thriller, comedy. But I'm like, uh, so if you guys can tell me what it would fall under, I would appreciate it. Um,
Would not categorize that as historical fiction. So what did you call it again? Let's check our book selling resources,
yeah.
Ms.
Pride, Prejudice,
Boglanex.
and Zombies.
Pride, Prejudice, and Zombies. It's by Seth Graham Smith and Jane Austen. So whoever's writing the parody of the original gives the original author credit. Um, so
It's got parrots in it, that's all I can tell so far.
Like a
I feel like
retelling.
it's not fan fiction, is it?
no,
Sounds fanficky. Okay.
it
Penguin.
actually says popular fiction, historical fiction.
We could probably wrap this up and then
No, this is way more
figure out
fun.
what our topic is.
Putting David on the spot like this is way more fun.
That's fine.
Mashup. That sounds there
Dawn of the Dreadfuls,
Yes, that's the second part of it.
Dreadfully Ever After. Yeah, these are I don't know what genre that would be. Hang on.
Anna Karenina, android robot or android story. I forget how it is. Teresa's miserable already.
And
Right? Here we go. Pride, Prejudice, and Zombies is a genre-bending mashup of Regency romance and action horror.
yeah, mashup is the best description
Yeah, mashup is
I could give.
so, David, is that your
That's my
decree?
pick.
Okay. So a
whatever
Alright.
mashup.
whatever that unnamed genre.
Okay, so two of my favorite things: classics and made up things.
Okay, you know how this is categorized on the Evil River website?
Mm-mm.
Quirk Classics.
Quirk.
Quirk Classics.
Actually, one of the publishers is Quirk Books.
There you go. Humorous fiction, contemporary lit and fiction, satire, and quirk classics.
Oh.
I'll read it. I will read it.
I make no promise.
Under protest, it sounds like.
I make
Mhm.
no promises.
I know, I'm like, how short are these books?
But you know what it actually
Um,
reminded me of? This Pride, Prejudice, and Zombies? It reminded me of the movie Sinners, which has this tremendous dramatic story arc with Irish vampires.
Vampires.
yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
So when you're reading, like, if you read Pride,
It's-
Prejudice, and Zombies, it would be Pride and Prejudice all over again, but it would superimpose a zombie plague onto Jane Austen's entire work.
That's like pain on top of pain.
Yeah,
It's
I
actually
hate
really
this.
good.
I hate this so much, but I'm doing it.
Wow. Wow. Anyway, so just for the record, we don't
Yes.
hate. When I first met Teresa, she looked at me like this and said, we don't hate."
I dislike this so intensely. I
Have
just
you
want I
seen
mean, my
have you
I just want you
have
to
you
know that.
have you seen Sinners, you guys?
No.
I might have.
No, you would know if you saw Sinners. There would be no ambiguity. No,
Well, I like
either
I
your
like the vampire genre, so I probably watched a
either
ton of
either your
vampire.
soul has been transformed or it hasn't, and you would know if it had. So you probably haven't seen Sinners yet?
I watched Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter.
It's
Like,
not
didn't change
Sinners.
me.
It's not Sinners. Teresa, I tell you no, that's a no from you.
Oh, heavens no. Uh-uh.
Oh, I
That's not
cannot
her thing.
recommend it strong literally 100% of the aspects of that film are flawless. Technically flawless,
We
artistically flawless,
we already took a recommendation for you about a film,
and which one was it?
that
And
Christmas one.
and oh, and did you watch no, it was a
Thanksgiving.
one, and did you watch it? No, you didn't, so don't even front.
Not true. We started it.
You did not watch it. The Academy Award the Academy of Recording Arts and no, what's the film one? The Academy Awards agrees with me. They set the record for the most nominations, 16 nominations, 2 more than any movie in history, well deserving every aspect.
Did we watch the same movie?
Sinners?
Oh, okay.
No,
I
I
not
thought we were
was
talking about
oh, dear
the
God, no,
Thanksgiving movie.
not Home for the Holidays.
yeah, okay. I was like, that
You
got
never even
nominated
got
for
you never even got home in Home for the Holidays, did you?
we tried
You
to
were at
watch
the
it.
museum. You
We
never
tried
made
to
it out
watch
of the
it.
museum, did you?
We tried to watch it.
Did you make it out of the museum?
I don't even
I just want to point
remember.
out. I just want to point out, as
You
you two
did.
are fighting, Diana and I are just watching you, and I'm eating M&Ms, and I'm getting chastised
I'm
for it.
looking for a book that I can read of this quirky
I'm
genre.
I'm eating
You better
M&Ms as I
start it
watch you
now
two argue.
because oh my gosh, it's gonna be painful.
Telling you, don't listen to me. Go do your own research. Check your own vaccine information about Sinners. Make your own decision. You're gaining, you're lost. Meh.
We we will. Thank you.
It was we walked out of the theater. We accidentally went on a Saturday night. I said, "What the hell? Let's go to the movie." Which we never do.
Never.
And we went to Sinners, and I walked out of there, and I said, "Every element of that movie was flawless." The only award it was not nominated for was there was no Best Actress nomination,
Hmm.
but Michael B. Jordan was nominated for Best Actor playing twins.
How many did they win?
They were nominated for 16.
And they won.
The Academy Awards haven't been held yet.
Oh, it's this year. Gotcha. Okay, sorry.
It's this year.
Sorry.
It's a new movie.
Gotcha.
Okay. I believe
Ryan
you that
Coogler,
you
okay.
I believe you that you enjoyed the movie. How's that?
Know what I said. Said
Wow.
said every component of it was flawless. Did I
I
enjoy it? Yes.
believe
That's not what I said.
I'm happy you enjoyed the movie.
Don't watch it. It will be your loss. You will look back and say, "Oh my god, I can't believe I'd never watched that great movie."
What?
You
Aw,
know that
that's a good segue right
that's
there,
a bandit
puppy.
face right
Yeah,
there.
it is. She said, my mama didn't need to see Sinners. No.
And why would you wanna see Sinners if she's holding a saint?
I've gotta figure out how
Exactly.
to find different
Look
choices
at
here,
the
David.
look at the you're a bandit.
What's that?
Get the bandit thing?
Different titles. I need
Yeah,
different
it's
titles.
adorable.
I'm gonna try one.
So do Henry VIII Wolfman, the Wolfman?
Henry VIII, because I love Henry VIII.
You love him?
No, I mean,
I
I
He's
love
do.
naughty.
I love Henry
um,
VIII. It's his wives that were terrible.
um,
Hello.
Okay. And we're gonna wrap this up.
Yeah, let's wrap this. We have some hunting to do to try to figure out what the hell kind of book David's
Yeah,
talking about.
it'll be next Monday afternoon. We'll all be finding a book.
yeah, like
Or
I gotta start it now if I'm gonna actually have it read.
I survived literature class my junior year in high school without ever reading a book, so
would you like me to send you all a curated list of the finest titles?
that would
Yeah,
be
Nope.
awesome if you didn't do that.
No, I don't want that because I'm going to go with the mashup definition. That's what I'm going to do. And just a reminder that
Mashup
the
work.
week after, we're doing magical realism, if anybody wants to get a jump on that.
I got
Oh,
a
that
book
sounds
for
like
that.
hell on earth.
Okay, now this is probably not gonna fit, but when I search for quirky fiction, Tom Robbins' classic Even Cowgirls Get the Blues show up, but that doesn't sound like it's gonna fit in your genre.
No, no, no. So it's
You
it's a retelling.
you ever read
It's
any
a retelling of a classic from a science fiction point of view.
God, those are
No,
like
that's
2
okay.
things that I
That's
really hate.
classic from a science fiction point of view.
That's gonna be awesome. Have you ever read Tom Robbins? Still
Hmm.
Life with Woodpecker, Even Cowgirls Get the Blues? Yeah, that was my teens and 20s. Good times.
Actually, I have my book.
What is it?
I'm not going to tell you. We don't talk about books until we do this. We don't talk about this book.
Okay.
Oh, I hear it, Cooper.
No.
All right, it's probably a good time to go because
Yeah,
Cooper's
I got
barking.
some research to do to figure out what the heck I'm gonna read.
All
Yeah,
right.
Lily Bear says bye, everybody.
Bye,
Lily
sweet
Bear,
girl.
Let's see.
bye.
Love you
Lily Bear
guys.
can do the heart
Love
too.
you. Bye.
Bye,
Bye,
see
guys.
you
Love
next
you.
week. Love you.
This is the Patchouli Podcast Network.